about 5 years now, we have constantly heard over the years that Fortnite content is dying and Fortnite is dying, but today, hopefully, we can get a better idea on whether or not Fortnite content is actually dying, because we're going to get our thoughts from our amazing community down below. We're going to take a look at all of the replies to a question that I asked, that being, is Fortnite content dying? And again, like I just said, hopefully we get a straight answer. I'd love to hear what you guys think afterwards down below. We're going to get into the video in just a second. Before we do though, I do want to say hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back to the reply room, where I post a question or a statement and I take a look at your responses to it and make it into a video. This is what I had to say about today's video. Do you think Fortnite content is dying? I, of course, wholeheartedly disagree with this, but many creators have been saying that this type of content has been dying for a long time. So guys, let's jump into your replies today. Thank you so much to everybody who participated. So the first response we have is yes and no. On one hand, we got creators who kind of make mind-numbing content like Top 5 Gaming and Tomato, but you also have YouTubers who genuinely enjoy Fortnite content and make good content for it, like Cypher, Clark, Nick830, and Clen, which I really appreciate, by the way. And you know what? That is true. I'm not calling out Top 5 Gaming, I'm not calling out Tomato or anything like that, but there are a lot of creators in the space who seem to be making just, I don't want to call it mind-numbing, but it's kind of true, you know what I mean? They could do something a little bit more creative in that sense. So there are some people who are really big, and perhaps like the type of regular Fortnite content that everybody used to make is dying down just a little bit, which I would still argue isn't even near close to dead. It's just people are looking for a little bit more creativity, in my opinion. Let's keep going. In Chapter 3, the beginning of Chapter 4, yes. But now it's in a pretty solid point with all the content getting pushed out with the new weapons and all, so I don't think it's dying. This season here has been a blast, and I haven't seen a lot of people complain about it, which came with a lot of new items to make content with. Fortnite is already preparing for a lot of content with the fall and winter, so it's probably only going to go up. Obviously, it won't get back to the content creation peak we had in the past, but still is really active, and there will be something to make content about. There will always be something to talk about. That's true, especially with this season. The storyline's been great. The new weapons, new items have been great. It's been like really exciting to talk about new stuff with Fortnite. However, I always make this point. You want to talk about, like, you can't compare the content now to when Fortnite was at its peak, because there was literally taking over the world. There was only one way for Fortnite to go, and that was downhill. Like, they could not get any bigger. So I don't think it's, while you're correct, I don't think it's right to compare content today to the content at Fortnite's peak, because we will never reach that level of hype again for Fortnite. No game will ever reach that. Depends on the content creator, really. If they are creative enough, they'll make interesting videos like you, which I really appreciate, Clark, and Jojo Josea. Now, I keep meaning to check out that channel. I keep hearing people talk about him. Anyways, Lachlan and Power, for example. YouTubers like Cypher, Courage, and Ninja usually reuse the same video concepts, but they're still visibly enjoying the game, and that makes the videos fun. But then you have to bring boring creators who just split out content with no soul, and it just comes off as boring and bland. It eventually comes to one's creativity and dedication. That last point, I completely agree with. It eventually comes to one's creativity and dedication. There is something to say about the people, for example, like Cypher PK, who genuinely seems to always enjoy Fortnite, the updates, and that everything that comes out. So you can take those like videos that he makes, and while it is all the same style, it's still like, hey, you know what? I want to hear what Cypher has to say about this, because I'm excited to hear what he has to say about it. You know what I mean? So there are, and I will point out, like, I love what Clark Clen is doing with Fortnite, in the Fortnite space. He's making very creative videos, very creative live streams, all that stuff. So I completely agree. It comes down to the creativity and dedication of a content creator. Yes, I fully believe it is. People like Ninja or Encourage JD keep remaking the same exact videos over and over. A little bit of Cypher PK too, because even though they still get many views, you can't do the same thing all the time. Ninja is dying a lot because he has 1 million subs but only gets a few 100,000 views. That's not very good considering how many subs he has, and all he does is making vids about how good he is in zero build and how many wins that he gets. In my opinion, that's boring content. Well, while it may be boring content in your opinion, like he's still farming in consistently hundreds of thousands of views. So there are people that genuinely enjoy it, and I really like Ninja, you know? I every once in a while will check out what he does. In my opinion, I don't necessarily love just watching Ninja play the game. So you're right and a little bit wrong in that sense, but it's really tough. Like, I find it funny how everybody says like Cypher PK's content is repetitive and a little bit boring, but I kind of agree that it's a little repetitive and he just talks, but like Cypher's one of those guys I enjoy going to just to hear his thoughts, you know what I mean? So I'm okay with him remaking kind of like the exact same videos over and over again. So But to point out Ninja and saying that he's dying, I would actually disagree with, because the dude is still farming in hundreds of thousands of views. It's just he was kind of like at Fortnite's peak level, you know what I mean? Ninja only had one way to go, and that was down, unfortunately. So his content is not dying at all, but I completely understand what you're saying, Taylor. Yes and no. It really comes down to the type of content the creator makes. There needs to be innovation in the type of content the creators make. For example, your own channel, you make new videos and lore videos, which, let's be honest, plenty of YouTubers do. Not saying it's a bad thing, just not fully original. But you also make videos like Concept Time, Reply Room, Let's Talk Clen, and Talk at Clen, which are really original, which is why I believe you should be getting more attention, which I really appreciate, by the way. I have a whole like, I want to talk about all things Fortnite, you know what I mean? I see no problem with news and lore videos, but there needs to be more variety, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I try to do on the channel. I want to make it a little bit more unique. Like you just said, I have all these videos where as far as I'm aware, nobody else is doing, where I like make videos like this with our community on the channel here. So maybe like, first of all, I enjoy doing it, but I also think that like separates me just a little bit, and it's very nice of you to say that, and I don't want to sit here and toot my own horn, but I found a different way to get around things. Like, there's so many people that love Let's Talk Clen and Concept Time. I hear that all the time, which I need to get onto Concept Time, by the way. I'm all settled in my house finally. So I understand completely what you're saying. So it really does come down to, like you said, what content the type of content creator is making. Most creators aren't original anymore and just do YouTube for numbers. It's a business problem, and because of that, it has become a content problem. Notice how most YouTubers now focus on things like news updates, just because it will get more clicks. Nobody makes videos to make original content anymore, and that's why it is, in quotations, dying. I really like watching you and Clark because both of you focus on content rather than what will get clicks today. To sum it up, I believe the content is dying for the reasons I've mentioned, but it doesn't have to die. If more people tried to make content like you, then we wouldn't be having this discussion. Well, first of all, that makes me feel good. I really appreciate what you guys are saying. I appreciate you guys really enjoying these videos because I enjoy making them with you, to be honest with you. So, and I completely agree. Clark is making fantastic original content. It's very interesting what you said. I want to read that part again. Most creators aren't original anymore and just do YouTube for numbers. It's a business problem, and because of that, it has become a content problem. That's a very interesting way to look at it, because there are a lot of channels just focusing on the brand new weapon. And in my opinion, at least, like I feel like a lot of people can agree with that. It does get stale for content creators, but people will always be clicking on the news because people will want to find out what that new item is. So that is an example of, in my opinion, you doing YouTube for numbers. Of course, people could have a passion for it, but I would imagine people are just doing those types of videos for a business and for numbers and for ad revenue, stuff like that. So it's a very interesting way to look at it. And Fortnite has become that game where it's so big where you can just really make content to focus on business and numbers. Very interesting way to look at that. And I don't think you're wrong at all. So, but I appreciate the kind words. It isn't dying. This is the same thing you always hear people say, but it has no meaning. Just like Fortnite has been dying since we left the OG days of the game, content has also been apparently dying. Content is still alive, and it will always be as long as the game is. I don't have too much to add to that. You're totally right. I completely agree with that. Content is not dying, and it won't as long as Fortnite's alive, and Fortnite is going to be alive for decades to come. We also have another short reply. No creativity is dying. Content is not dying. Nobody tries to make new things anymore, and that's why there's a big room. If you're thinking about making a thinking about being a content creator, guys, the room to come in is now. Think about how Cypher PK made his channel big. When everybody started to leave Fortnite, he stuck through it. And I'm not saying people are leaving Fortnite. Fortnite's in a very good state right now, but people aren't trying to make new things anymore. If you have an idea, get to it. The opportunity with Creative 2.0 and stuff like that is here now. I both agree and disagree with this. I believe that Fortnite content is dying at the moment, but I believe that this isn't due to the game becoming bad or irrelevant. Far from it. I believe that Fortnite, in terms of content creation, has entered what I would refer to a filtering out and refilling phase. What I mean by this is that some content creators are either completely leaving the game or not uploading content as frequently onto their channels, but at the same time, we're also seeing an influx of new creators entering or re-entering the Fortnite content creation ecosystem to replace those who have left or becoming more popular and prominent because of those creators who have left. A few good examples of new and expanding channels include yourself, Clark, as well as plenty other creators, and while some larger channels such as Zanny, who recently got back into Fortnite and is posting content on it. However, I believe some major flaws as to why Fortnite has been losing big channels throughout the past year or so is due to these three things. 1. Some content creators not willing to accept what Fortnite is and still clinging onto its past, hoping the game will one day reach the second peak like in Chapter 1. That's so true. 2. Creative 2.0. I believe Creative 2.0 has been a large reason as to why some content creators have left, and the reason I believe this is because beforehand you had LTMs, which were massive and successful method of making content, as each LTM was different and unique, and you could do all sorts of different things in them. However, since LTMs are no longer a priority and Creative 2.0 is taking their place, this killed off a very successful form of content, all for a mode which completely flopped on launch. Not to mention a lot of UEFN modes we see now are very similar, if not the exact same content being used, which would probably not be a sustainable content to push out for your channels, hence why I believe 2.0 has been a massive hit towards content creation. 3. Holiday and live events. As of the last year and a half, I'd say both holiday events and live events have greatly suffered as a result of the development of UEFN, resulting in one terrible live event and around years-long wait for the next one, as well as 2 terrible summer events, 1 terrible 4 Nightmares event, and a below-average Winterfest, which didn't really add much to the game in terms of new content, whereas beforehand during Chapters 1 and 2, holiday events were some of the most ripe times to make content creation, as most days would give us some form of new or returning content during the events, and live events were something to always look forward to, whereas now after Fracture, everyone isn't excited for the event, but rather on edge about if it will be, oh no, I cut it off, it will be as good or not, which is not a good position to be in. I'm guessing that's what it says. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened there. I cut it out. I already deleted all the chats in the server. I'm so sorry, but this is very true, and I really agree with your first point in some content creators not willing to accept what Fortnite is now and still clinging onto the past, hoping the game will one day reach a second peak like in Chapter 1. You could argue Fortnite isn't its second peak. It's on top of the world. It's been getting better and better as time goes on, especially like the solid foundation of the game. People have been having so much fun with it. And I understand like it's so hard to compare it to Chapter 1 because there's only one way to go, but it's true. I don't know if it's tough because while you're correct about Creative 2.0, I don't know about holidays and live events. Well, holidays specifically, because holidays only come around a couple times a year, and if those are lackluster, I mean, like, how much content really came out of those? But I do agree with the live events. People aren't nearly as excited for live events because we don't get them nearly as frequently, and people have such a bad taste in their mouth after Fracture, you know? So it's tough on that sense. So there's some points that I agree with, and there's some points that I do like kind of, I understand what you're saying, but like I don't know how much it actually affects the content, mainly talking about the holidays, but the live events, absolutely. But guys, with that last point puts an end to the reply room today. Thank you so much to everybody who helped make this video. Thank you to all of you for watching. If anybody wants to help make any videos just like this, jump in the Discord server. It will be in the pinned comment and the description down below, guys. Thank you so much. We already have our next reply room thing posted, so go check it out. It's about Donald Mustard and why he's leaving. Can't wait to make it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to continue watching the Clen channel, there'll be 2 videos on screen for you to check out right here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. Take care.